All right, Chrissy, thank you. So here's a question for you. When looking for a house, are the local schools a priority for when you're shopping around? It's a good question. Fox 5 real estate expert, my man, Ken Kaplan, the Noble agent, is here. We're talking about the best bets for buying or renting in a neighborhood that has that school district everybody wants. It tends to be, for families especially, tops on their list. They have a good school district when they move, buy a house, rent a house, right, Ken?
It is. I mean, it's really important because on a resale basis, whether you've got a family or you don't, it's a single person, you need to think about that on a resale basis or a rental basis.
Sure.
Who am I going to be selling my house to? Who am I going to be renting it to? What kind of demand am I going to have for this particular home when I go to sell it or rent it in a different school district that may have higher school scores, or in the same district that the schools in that neighborhood are higher?
Okay, so does it make sense to, for people who want to move into these areas with the schools that have the higher state scores, et cetera, that makes sense for them? Or?
It may. It just depends. If you're a renter, are you prepared to scale down and go from a 3-bedroom house into a 2-bedroom condo or a 2-bedroom apartment? Can you make do? And are you willing to sacrifice that to get into maybe a school that's got better school scores?
Is this something that you can rely on your agent in terms of knowing what the scores are and where the best schools are? Or is that something you can take upon yourself?
You should, as a consumer, do it on your own.
Right.
You should be going to each and every school district website.
Sure.
There's a really good school website finder, and it's called greatschools.com.
Okay.
That's a great one because it'll actually rank the schools, tell you which schools an address goes to, and it'll allow you to make that decision as an educated renter or buyer.
What exactly should you be looking for in a school? I would think it would depend on what age your kids are, I guess.
You need to look at every individual school. So is it a lower school? Is it a middle school? Is it a high school?
Right.
What are the ratios? What are the scores? What's the feedback from the parents that you're seeing in the way of reviews? These are critical things that are really important when making that decision, because if you're going to sign a 1-year, 2-year lease, if you're going to purchase in that neighborhood, you want to know that. As well as, is that school district boundary going to be changing? There are people who purchased homes in new home developments going, wait a second, I'm in this school district, didn't read the fine print, and then guess what? School districts were changing and they didn't realize it.
And then
you're out.
And then you're out. Okay, are the homes in your schools more or less expensive? I would think it would depend, because a lot of people don't want to live too close to a school because then you have the traffic to deal with and everything else.
Yeah, I would say that homes that are across the street from schools, typically because of the traffic factor and the noise from kids getting out, as well as the bell and the lights from any events that are going on at the school, create a little bit of a distraction from that property and make it a little bit less desirable. But there are going to be people who are going to say, this is exactly what I want, because I can wake up 5 minutes before the school bell rings and get my kids across the street.
Just walk across. I literally lived right next door to my elementary school. It was easy. You wake up and you just walk across.
Pros and cons to everything.
Pros and cons. If you'd like to reach Ken, you can log on to fox5sandiego.com and click the See It On tab. The Noble Agent. Thank you for the bagels, Ken Kaplan.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it, my friend. All right, let's get it back inside.